Morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 4th. If you're absent today, we're starting our new unit, and remember, we're not using Amplify anymore, and so we're following the 5 E's for learning. Today, the first E is to engage. So our objective is I can think like a scientist by making observations and asking questions about what I see in an ocean system. The two activities we're going to do today, first of all, if you haven't already, please make a new folder in GoodNotes and let's call that Ecosystems. And then I want you to come in here. We're going to spend, in class we spent about 20-30 minutes just looking at this picture. And you're going to have to turn it once you get it in. And so I want you set a timer, and I want you to look at this picture, okay? And as you look, you're going to be filling out a worksheet, and let me show you that real quick. You can put this one in GoodNotes as well. You can do a split screen. If there's any way that you can print this Ecosystem STW worksheet, that would be the easiest thing. Just print this out and then handwrite it, all of your observations. So we spent probably, I would say a good, probably 7 to 10 minutes on what we saw. I had the kids just be quiet for 2 to 3 minutes and just look at the picture themselves. Now, this is a worksheet that we're going to be using for each one of the 4 new units or 4 new chapters in this ecosystems unit. And the first column, you see the word see. And obviously, in parentheses, it's what do you notice? Now, we are really quick to our brains. We're really quick to make an observation and make an inference at the same time. And then when somebody says, hey, what do you see? You say what you're inferring. And for this activity, I really want you just the facts. What literally do you see on the paper? And so use bullet points and just fill up this column with your eyes. What do you see? And time yourself. Go ahead and set the timer 2 to 3 minutes, probably 3 minutes. Okay, that really forces you to make yourself observe. And then after that, set the timer for another, let's say 5 minutes. And I want you to make some inferences now. So what does what you see make you think about? Okay, this word connections is always tricky for students. What connections can you make? What I mean by that is maybe you've got some past experience. Like if you've ever gone to the Henry Doorly Zoo, or maybe you've watched a documentary on TV, or maybe you just have knowledge, like pre-knowledge. You're just kind of interested in, I don't even know, zooplankton or whatever, and you already know some things. So this is going to say, what does that make me think about? So again, we can make some inferences. So if I see this, what do I think is happening? What do you think is going on? And so go ahead and again, make bullet points. And I would try for everything you observe, so for every bullet point that you put over in the C column, try to come up with at least 1 or 2 bullet points for what does that make you think about? Okay? Why do you think what you see, why do you think that's happening? Or what do you think is going on? Just try and fill that whole column up. And we spent some time discussing in class, and so that's going to take up some time that you probably don't have. But if you are able to, go ahead and discuss that with a parent or a sibling, or when you come back to class, you can always talk to me about some things too. And then based on what you saw, what you observed, and what that made you think about, I want you to write down some bullet points about what are you curious about. And please don't say nothing. I'm not interested in anything. I want you to think like a scientist. And in science, the first 2 steps of the scientific method, or the first 2 things that a scientist or an engineer or really anybody who is trying to do a job and do it better, what you have to do is you have to make observations, and then you and then you ask questions. Sorry. Those questions lead to investigation questions. Now in Amplify, you guys never had to come up with those investigation questions. I gave those to you every single day. Today we're going to be investigating this question. So you're coming up with your own investigation questions. What is happening? Why is it happening? What would happen if this happened? How long has that been going on? Is there anything else involved in this activity? Whatever you think. Go ahead and come in and just write about, as many bullets as you want to, about things that you wonder, okay? When you're finished with that, the last thing that we did today in class is thinking like a scientist. I want you to respond to this discussion thread. And the first thing you're going to do is tell me 1 or 2 I wonder questions that you have from your STW worksheet. These are the 2 questions that you're most interested in. Just reply to one thread, or just post one thread, okay? So if you have 2 questions, go ahead and put both questions on those threads. Then I want you to just take a little bit of time, 15, 20, 30 minutes, 30 minutes max, I would say. And I want you to do a little bit of research. Find out more about those questions. And so what we're doing, once again, is we're thinking like a scientist. You guys are really starting to use these skills that you've learned in Amplify on your own. Once you have found out some information, and do me a favor, please, don't just type in a question and the very first thing you get, just read it off of the search results. Please don't do that. Actually click on some websites, dig deeper, find out what's going on. What are some definitions maybe that you don't understand? Really do a little bit of exploration on your own. When you've got some information, then you're going to come back into this discussion thread and you're going to reply to your own response to tell what you've discovered. This is a grade. It's a completion grade, meaning there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not going to count off if you've got some misinformation. We'll talk about it for sure, but this is just kind of an engage activity just to kind of get you interested in what we're going to be talking about. All right. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.